power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Alrighty, it's another Thursday night here on sci-fi.radio. Sci-fi for your Wi-Fi, which means another episode of Talking Bay 94, Season 13, Episode 5. Yeah, I know, our numbering system sucks. What can I say? I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And Jeff Silla Donoho is going to join us late. He'll get here eventually. And but that's okay. For the time being...
Not the time being.
You have us. We got the chat going. Oh, frequent Falcon Flyer has popped in.
Oh. I don't see anybody.
And the Lady A has popped in. Hello, everybody. Yeah, oh my gosh. It's been a pretty decent week. I made it back to Disneyland after being away for a month. That was
wow.
That was pretty good. And so when last I was at Disneyland, which was what, the 29th of June, I got a call from Colleen that said her father was doing poorly in Virginia. And so I was at a memorial at Disneyland and left there and ran home, and we packed and we left and we flew to Virginia for 3 weeks the following day, which was crazy. And
when I called him, I wasn't even sure, we weren't sure whether it was just going to be me going or Sean going, and we didn't know whether I was going to try it. There was one flight leaving Saturday,
right,
and we weren't sure whether I was going to try and be on that one.
Yeah, we had no clue at all. And yeah, and then of course we were gone for 3 weeks, and we didn't do the show until last week. We finally got back and we did the show again. Yeah.
Hi to Alan.
It was good. Hey, Alan and Pat.
And Pat.
Hello, Pat.
Lovely to see you all.
Yes. I mentioned sci-fi.radio. I did not mention that you could be watching us on Twitch or on Facebook or on YouTube. All of those things are very cool. Let's see. Oh, my calendar's like in August already.
That's because we're in August already.
I know. Can you believe it? It's a brand new month. It hasn't been messed up yet.
Right. Yeah, I think there must have been more to this week than Sean going to Disneyland.
Yeah, there is, and there's stuff. The reason I was looking at my calendar, though, I wanted to say happy birthday to Pat, whose birthday is tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Pat!
I thought I remembered seeing that on the calendar, and wanted to make sure it was actually there and not just my brain going, because my brain does that sometimes.
It is there. Look at that.
But yeah, well, we have sort of got kind of like an ending or a closure to our trip for Colleen's dad, because he showed up by U.S. Postal Service today?
Yes. And Sean, I was in a meeting when someone came to the door.
And let me say, I specifically did not tell you during the meeting.
Thank you.
I'm like, I should wait. This would be bad.
And then after the meeting, I'm trying to wrap the meeting up, make sure I have my notes in order and everything. And Sean walks in and says, "Your dad is here." I'm like, what?
Well, he's in a box.
He is, in fact, here. We're not sure how Sophie's going to feel about sharing the house.
Exactly.
We'll have to see.
Oh,
hi, Kelly.
It's Dawn's birthday tomorrow too. Dawn shares
happy birthday, Dawn.
birthday with Pat.
Oh.
That's very cool.
I think Dawn and Pat would like each other.
I think so too. Totally.
Yeah, they would get along famously.
Yes. We are the good kind of weird, not to be confused with the bad kind of weird. That we're discovering that there is a bad kind of weird. we
Yes.
discovered that a certain subset of the population does not like to be called weird. I've been called weird all my life. I'm down with it. It is a badge of honor. But some people are getting really upset about being called weird. And it makes me
Yes.
laugh every time I see it.
I think it's awesome because nothing else upsets them.
Right.
Kelly wants to know if we see Sophie. We do not see Sophie.
We don't. Although we say
Do
hi
you
to
see
her.
Sophie now?
We say hi to
Yeah.
her periodically, and whenever something weird happens around the house, like something falls off a shelf or a light goes on or off or whatever.
Yeah. But now we'll have to decide who was it that did it. So
Right.
I don't know. Do people hunt where they passed away or where their ashes are?
I don't know. I guess it depends if they're tied to their ashes or not.
Yeah.
It-
Well,
it
my dad
depends.
was a smoker of cigars, so
Right. Well,
could be tied to ashes.
it could be in an ashtray for all we know. Well, and we certainly brought a bunch of his stuff back here with
Yes.
us, so we have various objects.
We've
that-
got his phone, so
Right, you have his iPhones, but you're not getting calls on it.
I haven't checked.
No, I mean you're not getting calls from him.
Well, from him. Well, I haven't checked at all, so
It's
it could be. Who knows?
It might seem a little too early to be talking about sort of creepy Halloweenish sort of things as we are about Colleen's dad who passed, but apparently Disney has jumped right in for Halloween because they just reopened the Haunted Mansion, and they just the showcase store at Disneyland is all Halloween already. And I'm like, it's months away.
What's the showcase store?
That's the one when you first walk in, and the Opera House is on the right. Mr. Lincoln is on the right, and it's straight ahead of you before you get to the narrowing part of Main Street. It's on the right-hand side, sort of next
It's
to...
the one that has the seasonal stuff.
It
in it.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the Showcase Store.
Right.
And it does. So, yeah, I'm glad the Haunted Mansion is open again, but I have two annoyances with it. And one is that they're going to have Christmas stuff there until January
Yep.
because they're opening with the Haunted Mansion holiday. And that makes me a little sad. They still have
So it's going to be Christmas 6 months of the year. now.
right. Well, and they still have plenty of construction to do.
Yeah.
And did they even take out the holiday when they shut it down? I think they shut it down during the holiday, didn't they?
They did. They shut
Yeah.
it down.
So
on,
I don't
like,
even
the
think they
7th
took it out.
of
They just left it
January.
up.
Yeah, they
And-
probably did whatever maintenance they needed to do on it, but I think you're right.
Yeah,
don't
I think they just left it up. So the second thing that bums me out is that now you have to have a reservation to get on. It's the same reservation system that they used for Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the
Except
Resistance.
that you can get a reservation at any time of day. You don't have to only do it at
which
morning
we
and
didn't
afternoon.
discover until the end of the day.
I didn't want anybody else to fall into your trap.
Well, because they were saying that, and if you look it up officially, it says 7 a.m. and it says noon. And that's when you're supposed to get your reservations. But we discovered that you could get a reservation. And we looked at it, and it's like, oh, you can make a reservation for 250 minutes from now. And it's like, yeah, we're not going to do that. But if I had realized it, I would have made a reservation like first thing when I got in the park.
Right.
They did make a change to the Haunted Mansion where there is a new gingerbread house for this year.
It looks amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Did you see video of it?
I saw photographs for sure.
I saw video
I don't
of
know
it.
if I saw
like,
video.
Moving. It's like spoilers. It's like a Frankenstein thing with the Frankenstein's monster on the lab,
Right.
on the table, but it's a gingerbread Frankenstein.
Well, let me see if I can find a cool video of it, and then I will show it. Allow me, however, to turn off the audio.
While you're looking for that, hi to Laura, hi to Chris, hi to Ricky Middleton.
Yeah, Matt's wife. Hi.
Hi, Ricky. And did I miss anybody? I think that's everybody. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Jeff is running late, so apologies for that. He'll get here eventually. We're keeping an eye on him over there. But let's see. If somebody did a full ride through, which is not what I want.
Yeah, I don't know who posted the like sneak peek. Might have been Disnerds.
Oh, I found one, and it actually is fairly fancy schmancy.
Oh, okay.
Let
You
me
gonna play it?
see. Yeah, I gotta kind of make it full screen and stuff. And of course they did it. They did it phone format.
Portrait?
So it's weird. So let's do that, and then hit play. So whoever did this is like Disney. It's somebody down on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I saw before.
And it seems to have some sort of subtitle. Sorry about that. But I mean, it looks pretty cool, and we'll have to see.
It says Disney Parks right on it's like the Disney Parks Instagram
Yeah.
in the upper corner there.
But yeah, it looks really neat. It's very cute and big and illuminated, which is really neat. They don't always do that. And if you notice, if you saw, the dial goes to 11.
Yeah, I see that. Well, I would like to see. I'm not like I like the regular Haunted Mansion much better than the
Me too. I do too.
the whatever this is called. What is this called?
The Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Okay, well, I like Haunted Mansion Workday much better. But I would like to see that gingerbread house. So
Hey,
have to
to
make-
answer Kelly, reservations do not cost money. You just have to make them when you get in. You can do Lightning Lane, which does cost money, so
Hey,
you
there's
can
John
pay for
Paulson.
it. And then John Paulson chimed in. Hey, dude.
Yay!
Good to see you,
Good to
John.
see you.
John has been under the weather lately, and we have been watching his recovery. And the fact that he popped up on Facebook bodes really well. So
Awesome.
that's really great. Yeah, I was doing updates once in a while, and then I saw he was back. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry
was
I
good.
interrupted your talking about
Yeah, no
Haunted
worries.
Mansion Holiday.
It's I mean, it's fun. I don't have a problem with it. But I don't want to see it for 6 months. I love the original Haunted Mansion. I really, really do. And the overlay is fun for a couple of months.
It's fun when they do it October through
January.
the beginning of January, which
Right.
is January like 7th. But when
I can handle it for like 2 or 3 months.
when it goes in August, that's like
Yeah, it's just kind of a bummer.
Really?
It's my own hang up. I know people really, really love it.
that's
But
true.
I really love the original. So there. That's how it goes. What else did we do? I feel like there was something else we did this week.
You did stuff on. Didn't you do stuff on Friday and Saturday? You did a Ghostbusters thing this weekend.
I did a Ghostbusters thing for sure. Which
Friday?
that was Saturday. I did
Yeah,
the Ghostbusters.
Friday you
thing.
went to Midsummer Scream.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah, my friend Jerome had tickets to go to Midsummer Scream. He wanted to go sometime this weekend, and so we went. He's very single-minded when he goes, and so he very much likes to see all the Halloween decorations, and so we kind of blazed through. We looked at the haunt section where they were doing the scare rooms and stuff, and that was pretty cool. We saw Cassandra Peterson, who was there as Elvira, a couple other folks. I didn't see any of the horror actors that I had been working with recently on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, but like Kane Hodder or somebody I thought would sure be there. But the problem was, so Midsummer Scream was at the Long Beach Convention Center, which has its own Comic-Con and a bunch of other nerdy events throughout the year.
It wasn't in Pasadena?
No. It was at the Long Beach Convention Center. But it was opposite San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And so, which I didn't go to on Saturday because I felt like it would have been just a little bit too much. I still haven't recovered my energy yet. And so I opted to stay closer at home, despite a very kind offer and provision of a ticket to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I could have gone, and man, did all my friends have fun. Oh my gosh, their pictures were amazing. But instead, we went to a fundraising carnival, and we were there from I think we got there at 11. It started at noon. It ended at 4, and then I came home. And that was with the Orange County Ghostbusters, and we did some charity stuff, which was really fun. They had a ghost targeting game where they had Nerf guns and ghosts hanging from targets, and that was really neat. And we really kind of enjoyed that. The kids were a blast. At the very end of the day, I took out my RTV, my remote controlled ghost trap, and the kids were kind of chasing it around this big empty grassy field, which was really funny. And so they were having a blast with that. And then I put it on super high speed mode, and they couldn't catch it, which was great. We had a good time, and of course they kept us well fed, and they did. They gave us some easy ups. We had my car on display. We had the slime bucket on display. All told, it was a really terrific day. Jeff had to bail out, unfortunately, due to flu, which was a bummer. And let's see. Oh, here we go. I was looking for pictures, and I know we have them if I can get them to show up here. There we go. There we go. So we had this whole big section going on with our cars on display. I got Ghostbuster magnets for the side of my car, and I need to find a thing to cover R2. If I cover R2 with one of the drone domes or something that the Ectos have now, or something like that to hide that he's a droid, I think no one will really know it's a Star Wars car, which is kind of funny. And then funny. Let's see if I have. Yeah, so this was kind of our setup with 2 easy ups. The shooting game is on the right, and the caution tape is to keep people from getting too close to the targets. And we outfitted the table over there with all the various gear that we had. That we put on display, and the kids could come and get stickers and pins and buttons and stuff. They won little prizes if they shot well. That's not it. Where's the other? Here we go. So this was the crowd that was there that day, and it was good. We had a really good time. In fact, it was really funny. I showed up at a pair of tan pants and a BDU shirt, like a Marines shirt with a name tape on it and a thing. And I never even changed into my jumpsuit. I don't think anybody noticed. I was like, hey, because it was really hot. It was so hot, guys. We were just dying. And in fact, it was so hot that nobody wanted to go to dinner afterwards. Everybody was just toast. And we outlasted the 501st, which was really funny because the 501st seems to only do 2 hours at an event now. And that's kind of a bummer because when I'm at an event and I'm in costume, I'm in costume. I'll just stay till the event's over. I mean, I think that's fair. And they come and they do 2 hours and then they change and they go. And I'm like, this makes me sad. But it was good to see those guys there. They had a handful of people, 4 Imperials and a Jedi. Zach was there, our friend Zach that we met at Disneyland and roped into the Rebel Legion.
Oh, yeah.
He was there giving his Obi-Wan Kenobi costume a test. He hadn't worn it anywhere yet. So
cool.
And I don't know. He took a fun picture that I have yet to see. That was he and I at the event with. I had my gun stick up and was in Ghostbusters, and he had his saber up and was in Obi-Wan, and it was very fun. Uh-huh. I don't think he's posted them yet. So, When they show up,
Alright.
we'll
Well,
put them up there.
I was glad that you came home for dinner because I made lime chicken for dinner, which was fun. And then Sunday, I went to the Culver City English Country Dance. So that was fun. I'm getting better. Not best yet, but I am getting better. So
Well,
that makes me happy.
I think the real measurement is are fewer people complaining every time you go.
Yes.
And that's the deal. So if they're not giving you grief, and
I don't feel like people feel like they have to dance with me anymore. I feel like they want to dance with me.
oh,
So,
good, okay, great,
Yeah, it's a big change.
right, and that's the thing is
Yeah.
you want people to have fun with you, not to be critical of you.
Right. Right. Well, and it's not that, I mean, they're super open and they're really great about dancing with beginners and everything, but when you're a beginner and you keep making mistakes, you always kind of feel like you're causing everybody else trouble because you can mess up an entire room full of dancers. It's not like modern dancing where you just screw it up for one person.
Oh, completely.
You can mess up the entire line.
Yeah, and
So-
yeah, if you're doing something like the Virginia Reel, you can even domino the entire group. Like if you fall, you can take out an entire line of people.
Yeah.
It's a comedy bit waiting to happen.
Right. And there is one of the normal callers. There are two people who started this group, and when either one of them is the caller for the dances, everything always goes so smoothly because they're just both really good instructors, and they're so relaxed and easygoing and keep reminding you that like it's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, that you feel really good when you go there too. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. Yep.
Well, and I always feel like the Olympics are happening right now, and you watch all of these athletes get like really uptight, and then they go out and they either excel or they suck, and it's like this it could go either way, and there's like so much tension, and these are like the professional athletes who are out there doing like gymnastics and stuff like that, and honestly, I feel like some of these social dance things are exactly the same. Like you go out and you either excel or you suck, and the pressure is high, and it's like, but you're doing it for fun.
Yeah, the pressure's not really that high. I think it's just hard the first several times that you do it because you're so aware of all your faults.
Yeah.
And then once you get into the swing of things, it's not a problem. Hello, Eric. Welcome.
Eric.
And Dawn wants to know where you get your stickers and buttons.
I think a lot of them just come bulk bought from. They're not special stickers. They're like 100 Ghostbuster stickers for $10, or 100 Ghostbusters pins for $10, and we get those in bulk bags and then hand them out. And then I am, in fact, looking into specific stickers because I need some for the various clubs. I need some for Road Squadron. I need some for my car in particular. Like I'm all out of trading cards. I'm all out of business cards. A whole bunch of things I really need to get off my fanny and do because I've been saying I was going to do it for like a year and a half. And
I guess
so,
you have something to do for tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking for. I have a couple of places, and there was. I used to use a guy for some of these who passed away. Unfortunately, my friend Paul Nye ran a little business. His daughter's taken it over, but there's growing pains and stuff going on there, so I haven't sent anything to her. But Paul used to do this too, and he could get anything made. Basically, he could get challenge coins, and he could do stickers and cards and fidget spinners that were challenge coins. I mean, whatever he could do all of it. And his daughter's trying to figure out the business right now. So I'm looking for somebody who's a little more
Someone that you can just send
grounded.
it off to
Yeah.
and not have to help them work through.
Yeah, and I don't mind using her in the future. I think she needs to get up to speed.
Couple of questions from the room about the dances. Frequent Falcon Flyer asks, are these a community centers or Elks Lodge? The particular one that I go to in Culver City is at a community center that during the day, during weekdays, holds like preschool or something in it. And that's every 2 weeks on Sundays. And then there's one in Pasadena that's held in a church. There's one in Anaheim. I don't know where that's held. And there's one in, there's a couple in the Valley. I don't know where those are held either. But if anybody is like, oh, hey, is there one in my area? Let me know that you're looking, and I'll try and see if I can't figure out where it is for you. It's really easy dancing. It's kind of like square dancing, but a little bit slower and less yeehaw.
less yeehaw.
Yeah, I find it fun. And then
and for these practices, you don't have to be all dressed up.
No, you don't
do
have
them.
to. I wear exactly what I'm wearing right now. I wear jeans and t-shirt and tennis shoes. And then when you go to the dance itself, like this, all year long, everybody practices, and then there's a ball in September or October that everybody goes to, and that one you either need to dress nicely or in something that is from like 1700 to like 1900 or something like that. I'd have to look to see what the exact years are. But it also, if you were to go to these English country dances, you can also do dances that are Victorian dances and Jane Austen dances and things like that. So a lot of different things that costumes are good for. And then Budala says that the dancers are intense because Budala's been to professional dance events and people are really serious. This is in no way one of those professional dance events where people are in competition. This is just people having fun. And it's, in my opinion, the people who do English country dance are nicer than the people who do swing dance, because the swing dance people make it obvious that they don't want to dance with you when you're new.
Right.
And the English country dance people are super easygoing and just lovely.
I love swing dancing, and I know some people who teach swing dancing classes, and they're super talented, and some of them are very kind and patient and that kind of thing. But just the general environment of this, when you're doing social dancing or country dancing in this old style, you are sort of required to interact with a lot of other people and things like that, and it's a very different kind of vibe. Where the swing dancing, there is always kind of a show-off aspect to it. There's kind of, with the social dancing, there's not really a way to show off exactly. But with the swing dancing, everybody's trying to show off, and that I found that to be very kind of taxing and not relaxing.
There are dances like when I went to the Jane Austen ball in January, they would have they have this board that shows the dance you just did, the name of it, the dance you just did, the dance that you're doing now, and the one that's coming after that, so that you can kind of see where you are.
Right.
And they're color coded so that there's a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And they, at this particular dance, they'll do an announcement that says, please don't dance the advanced dance if you're a beginner, because people will get upset. They've been practicing all year to do this.
Yeah.
So, and I have no problem with, if I'm not good enough to do a dance, I have no problem with sitting out for the dances. But having it identified like that is super, because it lets me know not to screw up things and makes it more relaxing when I screw up something on one of the easier dances.
And that's also the actual ball. Like I'm
that's
talking
the
about
actual
just
ball.
like the rehearsals.
Oh, yeah.
Even the rehearsals for swing dances are like more intense, because people like want to get their moves in and they want to kind of show off, and
They are.
and it's another thing to be at an actual formal ticketed event. And it's like, people are going to show off, what's going to happen, and which dances you can do and which dances you should stay away from. It's a very different kind of environment. It's the rehearsals really should just be chill. You're there to learn.
Yeah.
You don't want people elbowing you out of the way because they're getting super fancy. You don't want to get hit in the head with someone doing an aerial.
Right.
It could be really bad. And just to let you know, Colleen, I need you to relog into Zoom.
Uh-oh.
It crashed out because after 40 minutes with no activity, it closed down. So
Okay. Here.
we're trying to leave it open for Jeff. He had to go pick up Sparrow from work, and so he's late. Late. As in the late.
Okay.
Jeff Donoho. It's sort of a joke, you see.
Right. All right, and there he is now.
Hey. All right. Well, let's.
Okay. I'm out, so no more echo.
Okay.
So where were we? Oh, I put the Anaheim and Culver City English country dances in the Twitch and the Facebook chats.
Okay. I don't see Jeff on the call.
No, he's not there yet. He got on Twitch and said he's back. He's getting ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Super duper. La-da-ba-ba-ba.
And I will put the Pasadena one as well. Pasadena is historical tea and dance society.
Yeah, they're pretty fun, and the people are generally relatively chill. But like anything, some people do better than other people do at the running of the events, and so you have to find the one that works well for you, the one that you're happiest at and most comfortable at.
Yeah, and also the dance that's closest to you is also a good thing.
It can be, for sure. Yeah.
Right, because like for me, there's the dance in Pasadena. I know most of the people who run it, and I'd love to go to the Tuesday night dances, but I do not have any desire to drive to Pasadena on a Tuesday because
It's a distance.
that's a nightmare.
Whereas the one in Culver City, it's only like 10 minutes from here.
Yeah. And also, if anybody is further afield and looking for one of these types of dances, they're all over the country. So you can do a search for English country dance and the name of the nearest big city near you. And that should bring something up. And if not, feel free to reach out to me and I will ask the people who run the dances if there's one in your area, because they go to conventions for people that teach these dances, and so they meet people from all over the country.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, we have Jeff yet?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
He'll get here eventually.
So when Sean went to Disneyland, he did his kilt again.
I did.
So that's getting to be his regular thing.
Well, and so if you've been listening to the show for any time, you know that I suffer from hives, that we don't know what causes it. It doesn't seem to be the chemicals in our life. It doesn't seem to be where we've lived. It's like over 30 years, we've bounced around a bit on various different things and tried different things, and I haven't been able to get rid of them. The only constant in my life that I have not changed is Colleen.
So you're allergic to me.
If I'm allergic to Colleen, I'm just going to have to suck it up. But what happens is where clothing touches me, I get hives, and then if there continues to be wear there, I get blisters. And what I found out, and I only can theorize about this, but what I found out is that wearing a kilt seems to keep me from getting the blisters. And so like for the past couple times I wore a kilt, which was a different kilt than I wore, this was I would get no blisters, no hives, no nothing on my waist, which was really terrific. And nothing on my legs, of course, because nothing's touching my legs and everything was cool. This past time I got hives around my waistband, but not the blisters. So that was good. So yeah, I might have a new thing to do. I might have to get like a Utilikilt. I definitely need to get some more knockabout stuff and less fancy stuff than I've been wearing. And we'll see how that goes. Here, let me see if I can punch Jeff in here. I see him. You with us, Jeff?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He's trying to
How are you feeling, Jeff?
get all situated here.
I'm good. Hold on. God dang it. What's this caught on? Oh, dang. Okay. Hold on. Second. There. Okay. Doing better. If I can stop. If everything will stop fighting me. There we go.
All right. We got you locked in. Very cool.
Hopefully.
Woohoo. Welcome aboard.
So, the flu didn't last long, right?
Figures.
Yeah, you survived your flu okay?
Yeah. Oh, freaking damn thing. There it goes. Yeah, I'm doing good. First day without taking anything at all today, really. And yeah.
That's good. And you were back at work?
Yeah, totally.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, what
So
what else have you
exciting.
been doing? It says you saw Muppets Take Manhattan.
yeah, so it's the weirdest. So I don't know why my computer's doing this. I say this because the last time that I saw Muppets Take Manhattan was in the theater when it came out. So
That may
when I
be
was
the
like
case
80
for me,
1980
too.
something.
Well, it's the case for me.
Huh?
It is the case for both of us as well.
Yeah, I don't think we've
Yeah.
either of us have seen it since it came out.
Yeah.
And I only saw the second half of it because I went with my cousins who were all much younger than I was, and
Okay.
they ran into the wrong
Yeah.
theater. And then we had to stand in the hot Arizona sun waiting for our ride for an hour.
Oh, I see.
Rude.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it was on YouTube, for free to watch because it's not like streaming really anywhere. And I watched it,
Really?
and it's something that I hadn't seen for since then. And I just remember that I wasn't really fond of the movie, when I was younger. I was, for some reason or other, I'm not sure what it was. It was, I can't really figure it out. It was probably just because it was a different thing. I don't know, but I watched it and I just couldn't figure it after seeing it. I'm like, what the hell did I not like about this movie? Because it was good. I loved it. I was like, what
you have
was it
Amazon
that made me
Prime,
not like
Jeff?
this movie?
Jeff, do you have Amazon Prime?
So, yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it is? Okay, cool.
According to Amazon, it is, yeah.
I didn't see it on there.
But,
Oh, boy.
sometimes they trick
That
you. They'll
figures.
be like, it's on Amazon Prime, and then they're like, oh, for an extra charge. So, I could be wrong.
Yeah. It could be like the premium thing or whatever, where you have to get like Cinemax or something stupid. I don't know.
Amazon Super Prime.
I'll check it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, went back. I'm like, was it like the main actress? No, it wasn't. It was no one. It was like, and I remembered everything that happened in the movie. It's so everything at one time. I remember like in the theater way back when. I'm like, I remember this part. Okay, this part. This he gets hit by. Okay, this. Everything I saw coming back. So I remembered the entire film, but just couldn't place why I was like not happy with it or something. And like I went back to when I saw it as like, this is such a good movie, and why did I not like this movie? I don't know.
That's funny. It's not like it
Yeah.
was, Muppets from Space, which was actively terrible.
Yeah, that had problems. Yeah. There are certain aspects of Muppet from Space that I wasn't thrilled with. There are certain things, the way the way they were portraying Kermit in it, and like and the demystifying Gonzo, and then what Gonzo was. That those are the two things that ruined the movie for me.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I felt for sure
Yeah.
because he was a weirdo, and that needed no additional explanation. He was his own thing,
Exactly.
like Tigger. You don't really
Yeah.
explain Tigger. He's just Tigger.
Well, but he's a tiger.
Yeah, but he's a Tigger,
Yeah.
which is a little different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Double goer.
Hello,
Hey, Rosie.
Foxtrot Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Rose.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a it's a good movie, and I was like, just don't know what the reason was.
I'll have to check it out again.
Yeah. And then of course we did eventually see the Deadpool movie. Sparrow and I saw Deadpool.
Yeah, what'd you think?
No, Rose, we were talking about Muppets Take Manhattan, Rose. But yeah, Deadpool. Um, it was really good. I thought the new Deadpool movie was really good actually. I. Mm, I can't really say a whole lot about it,
Right.
Because spoils everything. But it's like it's got everything. It's got like the same. It's got all the heart of the other Deadpool movies did. Which it's got all this like the comedy aspect and the violence and everything, of course, of the other two. But they all on top of all that, it still had a lot of heart in them, and this one does as well. So it makes even if you were affected by the moments that you probably would be affected in the other two, you will in this one too. And then of course the stuff that's rolling over the credits, if you probably and such. So there's a lot to it that that works so well. I mean, they did such a great job with it, and this being the first Deadpool in the MCU.
Yeah.
So
well, and they kept it R-rated, and they
I-
kept it in line with the other two. I'm kind of bummed because I was going to
Oh,
try to
yeah.
see it with you guys, and because
Yeah.
I know Colleen doesn't really want to see it, so I'm going to have to figure something out now.
I have a surprise for you.
yeah,
On Saturday, I watched Deadpool.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wasn't
okay.
that bad?
which one?
Did you watch the second one?
The new
First
one?
one. I only had time to watch the first one.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so
didn't
you
watch
see the first one.
the
Okay, there
new
you
one,
go.
just the first one.
So you got to see they're really all three are amazing. So
Well, and there's two versions of the
Um,
second one. There's like a PG-13
Yeah.
version and an R-rated
I
version.
think I'll probably watch the
Yeah.
easier, the PG-13.
Well, if you watch the PG-13 version, you get the
Yeah.
Princess Bride parody,
Well, I want that.
right?
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a completely different thing than the other version. So.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
it
and
was all a
it
matter
had-
of like the fact that
it
I
had
was
an
sick
art
over
in
the
it.
weekend, and there's a lot of stuff that I was going to be going to go and take, to do a Sparrow, and then it all kind of got dropped because of me being sick. So
Well,
we
it's
went- that's why
important
we-
not
that's
to
why we
infect
did,
everyone else.
Deadpool.
It's important not to infect
Yeah.
everyone else when you're sick. So
Right.
Yeah,
it's good that
exactly.
you stayed home.
So but yeah, it's really good. I don't know any other way to do it without spoiling anything. There's certain things you're like, I hope this happens, and it does. There's one thing that did not happen at all that I was hoping would happen. So that's kind of disappointing in a way, but it wasn't really something that anybody was expecting to happen at all. It was just something I was expecting.
You were hoping to
So-
see Robert Downey Jr. as
That was-
Doctor Doom.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what pushed me over the edge of
Oh.
watching Deadpool?
What?
When I found out that this new movie has Dogpool in it,
Oh,
and
Yep.
they chose the winner of the world's ugliest dog contest. to
I
be
knew.
Dogpool.
I knew you were gonna love that because it was
That was
hysterical.
so awesome.
And did you see the behind the scenes thing where the dog
Yes.
is like completely licking all over Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh my
No.
God, it
All
was
that makeup and stuff, yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah, and it's just got this really
Oh, the dog,
long tongue.
Peggy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super funny.
Peggy the
Yeah,
dog.
Peggy the dog. I'm a fan. So it's worth. In
Yeah.
order to see the dog,
good.
I'm gonna watch all the Deadpool movies.
Well, and apparently there's also a Welsh
Yeah.
pool. So one of the strikers from his Welsh football team was there as Welsh pool in his like uniform. With
yeah,
the
but I'm not
mask
as
and the
excited
tail.
about that.
I just think it's fun that
Yeah,
he's
there's
giving people cameos.
there's a few
Yes.
Deadpools that show up. Yes. Quite a few
Right.
Deadpools that show up.
Awesome.
So, excuse me.
All
Sweet.
right.
Yeah,
so
and there are things that I wasn't expecting at all. That's always really nice when they surprise you with stuff. So, you know,
cool.
yeah, I was shocked with some of the things that popped in there. Really good.
Awesome. Something to
Go
look
see it.
forward to. Are we ready to talk Star Wars?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna have to open these up because I did not have a chance to do that. Well, we know these two. Okay, never mind. Okay. July 28th, 1930 is when Dr. Cornelius Evazan, also known as Alfie Curtis, was born. And I guess if you don't know him, he's like the fellas that he doesn't like you. I don't like you either. You just best watch yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
so the character has made an appearance in both Rogue One and Episode 4, but with different actors, of course, for different time periods. But yeah, it was pretty funny, and just about everybody in the cantina scene got dubbed with American voices. So not his real voice.
I know. And then also the fact that he had he not a lot of roles actually. 23 roles as an actor.
Well, and you
yeah.
would never ever recognize him outside of the makeup. He had like so much makeup on when he did it. But you know, you kind of he's got one of those sort of familiar extra faces. And I'll tell you where you really know him from, because everybody knows this. He was one of the enemy mechanics in the Aha Take On Me video.
Oh yeah, cool.
So the guys who come
That's awesome.
he's the guy who comes after them with a wrench.
Yeah.
And
okay.
you could totally
Nice.
recognize his face, even though it's sketched out. Super cool. But
ironically, he was in another movie that was the Elephant Man, but he wasn't the Elephant Man.
Hi to the real Emperor
Sorry.
Palpatine, who popped in over on YouTube.
The real Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I
Who
gotta look
has
that up,
advice for us about keywords?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you expecting me to say the advice?
go.
It's use
No,
keywords.
I read it.
Okay.
So it's
Jeff, you gonna continue?
Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. July 27th, 1940. That's when Gary Kurtz was born, and he's a producer of the original trilogy for Star Wars.
among many other things.
Loads of other stuff, but
If I remember
I
correctly,
haven't had I've looked. Yeah.
I was going to say, if I remember correctly, Gary Kurtz was like a Mennonite or something, and then he got involved in the film industry, which is really kind of funny. But so not only did he produce Star Wars and the various making of stuff, and The Empire Strikes Back, and The Dark Crystal, and American Graffiti, and Return to Oz. He was a really good friend and worked very closely with Craig Miller, our friend Craig Miller, and which was pretty cool. But he also was a producer on the movie of the sort of behind the scenes making of Star Wars that was done by a kid who got to go visit the Industrial Light Magic and all that kind of stuff. So Patrick Reed Johnson
Yeah.
did this sort of semi-autobiographical movie about going to see Star Wars stuff before it was done. John Francis Daly was in it, who was Sweets from Bones and from Freaks and Geeks, and then Austin Pendleton was in it. He was Max in the Muppet movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it, it's really kind of cool. And Colleen Camp was in it. She was
Also,
the maid in Clue. If you haven't seen this movie yet, look for it on Prime or look for it somewhere. It's called 5/25/77 with dashes in between the numbers. 5-25-77, which is the date Star Wars came out. It's really great, and it's really fun, and it's if you kind of wanted to know what it was like being a kid who was completely into movies at that time, it nails it. It's really, really super fun. And Gary Kurtz produced that too, which was just really neat. I think that it's kind of like a full circle thing.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The last of the birthdays is.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I just thought it was also cool that he worked on like the Dark Crystal. July 29th, sorry, 1941. That's when David Warner was born. And I guess if you're not familiar with what he did for Star Wars, he was voice of Grand General Malcor Brashin in Force Commander. And then, of course, boy oh boy.
Well, yeah. So he did a bunch of Star Wars game stuff, but he's got we just celebrated his birthday on my show and in the morning, and so he's got 250 credits to his name, and of course he was in Titanic. He was in Tron as Sark and Dillinger and the MCP. He was in The Undiscovered Country as Chancellor Gorkon. So he was in Tron. He's done Star Wars stuff. He's been in Star Trek. He was in Titanic.
Yeah.
Plus, he was in Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell, the time travel movie where he played Jack the Ripper. Spoilers.
And then he was in another one, Time Bandits.
Time Bandits, Doctor Who. I mean, oh my gosh.
How many time travel movies does this guy do?
Blake 7. He's done so much cool stuff. Absolutely an amazing guy. Often confused with the guy in War Games, which was not him. A completely different actor in War Games. But look at his credit list because it's absolutely crazy. And he got his start doing Shakespeare and all this great stuff.
Yes.
And then he ended up being doing all this geek stuff, which I think is just
he was the go-to bad guy for most things, and then he did very little good guy stuff. He's mostly bad guys.
Well, because he's such a great heavy. He was Ra's al Ghul in the Batman cartoon series.
Yeah, that was pretty damn awesome when I heard about that. When I saw that, I'm like, no way, it was him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible stuff. And he was in Wing Commander and just a go-to guy. Fallout, lots of neat stuff. So, and amusingly, Freakazoid as the Lobe. Yeah. He was the guy with the big brain head. That's cool.
Awesome. And that's it for the birthday part. Regular history part is July 26th, 1980. And that's when Walter Cronkite went to the ILM to look at props and models and other such from Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back for his show Universe, which was on CBS.
Walter Cronkite did a whole bunch of that kind of stuff when we were kids. He did Star Wars. He did a great one that I think I just posted to my Facebook page with Robin Williams, where he's at MGM Studios, what it was called at the time, and he runs into Robin Williams, and they go through the process of animating somebody. And there's this little in joke that if you're a huge Disney fan, the costume that Robin Williams is wearing in this live action segment that was on the World of Disney with Walter Cronkite is the same vacation costume that the genie wears at the end of Aladdin. When he turns into his vacation mode and he's going to go off, they swiped it from this live action thing they did, and it was just a cool little nod. Do you miss Walter Cronkite as much as I do?
I mean, I miss that style of reporting, yes.
I do too.
A ton.
Just like
you could trust him.
Here are the facts. We're not going to embellish. We're not going to put a spin on it. If he gave you a opinion piece, and he didn't do it very often, but if he gave you an opinion piece, you knew it. And he's like, this is my opinion. I'm going to say this. This is what I think. And you knew that. It wasn't buried in the middle of the story where they put like a spin on it. God, I miss that so much. Uncle Walter, man. The most trusted man in America.
July 28th, 1997 is when they finally screened the Lost Biggs footage at Comic-Con for the first time.
Or so they say.
Yes, exactly. I still say I still say the only thing I remember that isn't any other footage is from that. Like, it's the little sparkly lights because he's looking up through his binoculars, and it's little sparkly lights because the battle's going on.
Yeah.
That's what I remember happening before everything else, you know.
Well, and
so I don't remember the whole big scene, but I remember that.
They must have done it as a lead up to some software I remember getting, which actually contained those clips in it, which was something, a CD-ROM thing called Behind the Magic that they did. And I thought it came out earlier, but apparently that came out in the fall of 1998. And so I guess they must have shown them at San Diego Comic-Con as part of the sort of special edition celebration.
Yeah.
Because I thought that software
Probably
came out
yeah.
first, but maybe that was. Maybe it was the first time they screened it. But yeah, like I said, I kind of, you and I have had this discussion, Jeff, where we both kind of remember seeing it in the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing the entire big sequence in theaters, but I remember him looking up through binoculars and actually seeing the little lights of the battle.
Bye, Kelly. She's
Bye,
bailing
Kelly.
on us to go watch the Olympics.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
well,
I keep forgetting to
Bored.
watch the Olympics.
Oh, that's what
I tell
YouTube
you.
is for. I've watched all the highlights, and I don't have to deal with the boring people. And then they get to point out the cool things like Snoop Dogg doing commentary on badminton. He's there with NBC, and he's doing commentary on stuff, which is
awesome.
Pretty hysterical.
Our last bit of Star Wars history is July 29th, 2004. It was when Peter Mayhew came back to play Chewie. They pick up photography for Episode 3's Revenge of the Sith.
And they gave him a better suit with a cooling thing in it.
Yeah.
They learned so much in between doing those movies, which was great.
Disney released a first look at Skeleton Crew, which is coming out in December.
I hope it's good. Oh my gosh, I have so many people on my freaking Facebook page that are just wimping out. Like, this looks dumb. It looks like it's for kids. And it's like, what part of Star Wars is not for kids? You want to tell me what part that is?
Yeah.
I feel like Clone Wars wasn't really for kids.
Clone Wars?
Yeah.
The television series?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for kids.
Oh, it didn't feel like it.
Mm.
It was way too drawn out and like, kind of boring.
Yeah. Jude Law is in it. I think that's the only real name in it that you might know.
And what looks like one of the band members from
Captain
Yeah,
EO?
it's like,
Yeah, actually.
He looks like Hooter from Captain EO.
He does.
it's like Max Rebo, but I think he's supposed to be related to him or something.
I don't know. He kind of looks like more of a baby
Yeah.
baby Hooter.
Yeah.
But I don't think Captain EO necessarily takes place in the Star Wars universe.
Maybe not.
I just did a project with the lead, one of the lead girls who is in this, which was really cool. I think Ryan Kira Armstrong. And the project she was
Yeah.
working on for us, oh my God, she's good. She's a good actress.
Well, I'll watch this then.
Yeah, it was cool. And I've mentioned the game that we were working on, but I'll leave this quietly till they release her stuff. But I will
Yeah.
just say, first off, she's a total nerd like us. She's super sweet. She had a blast working on the Star Wars thing, and she was really super kind. She came up to me. She was really sad. We'd been working together for like 4 or 5 days. She came up and she's like, I'm so sad. I'm like, why? And she's like, I don't have any Skeleton Crew stuff to give you because you're such a Star Wars fan. And I'm like,
Aw.
that's okay.
That's so sweet of
Thanks
her
for
to think of you.
thanks for thinking of me. Yeah, it was really nice. So that was pretty fun. But anyway,
Cool.
yeah, it looks pretty cool, and we'll have to see what
Yeah.
this little elephantine guy is.
His name is Neil.
Neil.
I think his character Neil Neel.
Oh,
We're at the top of the hour.
interesting. Yep, we are indeed. You could be listening to Docking Bay 94 on sci-fi.radio. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. We always have news stories and stuff up there. So if you go type that in your address bar, sci-fi.radio, you will end up with a bunch of news stories, some of which we're going to cover on this show. But they'll get a little more in-depth than we do up there. Plus we have trailers, how to listen to the station on a wide variety of things, including Alexa and all sorts of cool stuff. If you are seeing our smiling faces, you are doing so over YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. Any of those are great. If you need to refer back to the show or refer someone to our show, try YouTube. Just go to Docking Bay 94 and click on the Live tab, and that's where all our shows get sequestered after they're all done. So that's great. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Soledano.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And we appreciate your company. Thanks for being here.
All right. So, theme parks. Disneyland cast members have a new contract that gives them a $24 base hourly wage, which is amazing.
That's pretty good.
It's a 20% raise in their base pay. So
As of Monday, this happened because they were picketing, and I don't know if we discussed this on the show last week or not, the difference between picketing and
did.
striking.
we did.
But they never went to the strike part of things. Disney went, okay, and they got this 20% raise in their base pay, which is pretty terrific. So we've talked on the show a lot of times about how some cast members who absolutely love working for the theme parks have hated having to live in their cars while they do it. Hopefully, this will help with that. And it's apparently representing 14,000 employees at Disneyland and DCA, Downtown Disney, Disney hotels.
It's a 3-year contract, which gives most workers, most cast members, a $6.10 raise over the next few years. It also grants longevity increase for senior cast members, attendance policy and sick leave improvements, and new premiums for cast members. I don't know what new premiums for cast members means.
I don't know, probably just little perks here and there. They get an instant $4.10 raise, like right now. And then the $6.10 raise is coming later. So, I mean, good for them. They all work really hard. and I hope that this is.
And the unions include the bakery, confectionery, tobacco, and grain millers local, the Teamsters local, the United Food and Commercial Workers local, and SEIU United Service Workers West.
That's cool.
Gotcha.
I mean, Disney lumps everybody who works for them under one term, which is cast member. And so, I mean, it's the people who you might watch make candy on Main Street, and it's the guys sweeping the streets, and it's the people giving tours, and it's the people doing write-up.
And cashiers.
Yeah, I mean, it's all that kind of stuff. So, good. I hope it's what they want. I hope they're pretty happy with it. I did talk to some people on Thursday who seemed pretty happy with it, which was really good. I talked to my friend Bob in PhotoPass. He was super excited about it and a little relieved. And PhotoPass is under a completely different different contract, so it doesn't really affect him. But he knows so many other people that it does affect, and he's really grateful for them.
Awesome.
So.
And I don't think it includes the performers either.
No,
they had a separate contract negotiation not that long
They're
ago.
under equity now.
Yeah.
Actors equity, and that's a different thing too. So,
Yeah.
What I think it's really funny that we know so much about this stuff now, when honestly we shouldn't know anything about it. We should just like go to the theme park and have fun, and yet here we are, where everybody's like becoming this weird expert on union and contract law because of all the strikes and bringing Disney up to.
Well, I mean, if Disney were a better actor in the whole thing, then the public wouldn't need to know about it.
They haven't kept up with the times,
So,
which
yeah.
is a real bummer.
Right. But that's like what's going on in the United States right now is a lot of union, a lot more people are pro-union than they have been previously.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Other things happening at Disney, the Earl of Sandwich pop-up that's down by in downtown Disney.
It's across from Din Tai Fung and where the ESPN building used to be, and next to the Star Wars
thing.
Outpost.
Yeah. So that officially opened this week.
Yeah, we went by there. We looked at it. It was fine. They still don't have my sandwich back, so they're still dead to me.
Yeah.
Where's my Hawaiian sandwich?
And they're still open at the other end, right?
They are, yeah. They're still open
so
at the other end.
it's one step closer to Porto's, but not even close yet.
Din Tai Fung is open.
Right, Din Tai Fung opened. I like Din Tai Fung.
But I did not go there.
Sean is not a fan.
No, it's okay. But I also know that if I went there without Colleen, she would be sad.
It's fine. You can go there without
So
me.
I wonder if this means that this is just a temporary little.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a trailer.
It's a trailer. Yeah.
It's a trailer. They're going to get a more permanent location.
Right, and they're probably. I would assume that they're going to shut down once the trailer is like really up and running. They're going to shut down the location over that's near DCA and start construction on that.
Right.
To get that going.
Yeah, because the Portos.
As Portos, yeah.
Because that used to be the
La Brea Bakery.
La Brea Bakery, yeah. And so.
Yeah, and so they need a good breakfast spot that is a bakery, basically, that has other items. But Portos is, I mean, I like both La Brea Bakery. Sorry, I liked in the past tense.
Yes.
La Brea Bakery, and I like currently Portos, but I'm glad that one of them will still be there.
Yeah, well, and Portos is like monstrously huge. They have a really big location over by Knott's Berry Farm, and that whole strip down, what is it, Beach Boulevard?
It's like incredibly obnoxious to the traffic it creates.
It's over by medieval times and
any
stuff.
Any Portos location has huge lines, so I don't have high hopes for being able to go to Portos in downtown Disney because it will have as high of lines as everywhere else, in my opinion. Because the the Portos, you'll wait in line for an hour to get into Portos to buy, your bread to go.
Right.
You're not there to buy bread. You're there to buy pastries.
Pastries.
Yeah.
Well, which you can actually order to your house if you really want to, which we were doing during COVID.
You can't order everything. There's only like 6 items you can
Right.
order to your house. But they've got some really amazing pastries there.
We were all this strike talk and talking about Portos over in Buena Park next to Medieval Times made me think about Medieval Times, which we were talking about a while back because all of their workers went on strike. And I didn't remember them ending the strike.
And did they?
They did, in fact. They ended it basically Thanksgiving weekend of last year.
Oh.
And they went back to work. But it had been going for a really long time. And it was specifically their show performers and stable hands. The strike went 9 months. It was really, really long.
Wow.
And so they said, our fight's not over. Just because we're going back to work doesn't mean we're not 1,000% committed to getting a collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
So hopefully they did get it all sorted out. But they did end the strike.
Yeah.
And here's a different one. Effort to unionize Medieval Times comes to an end. And so I think they decided to hire some additional people in.
So does that mean that they didn't unionize?
That's what I'm trying to see in this article.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Some workers left. The Beach Boulevard venue, and this is March, I think, of this year. Beach Boulevard venue is currently seeking to hire a Lord Chancellor, squire, and bartender, among other positions. Starting pay is $16 an hour. You were all true knights and fought with chivalry, says one of the former actors. It sounds like they all kind of bailed on it. Wow. The employees made an unconditional offer to return to work, and they announced that our union has reached the end of its journey. Yeah, it's still a little vague.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So that is too bad. And they've all the different locations apparently were having trouble. Medieval Times is a pretty huge deal out here. We have people who go all the time to it, and it's a dinner show, so these people should be under the union header for like equity actors or whatever, because they get up on stage every single night, and then
it's dinner theater.
Yeah, and it is further complicated by being on a horse or fighting with a sword or doing whatever. So having the protections is a good thing. And I also know people who have worked at these kind of shows, and they get worked hard and often too much. So
yeah.
Well, I'll do a little more research and see. It sounds like they all walked off the job and they are looking to hire other people.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Disneyland honored a 39-year-old ticket.
I am so on the fence about this.
So, a guy in 1985, which was Disneyland's
30th anniversary,
they gave every 30th guest on that day a free park ticket to come back another time.
Which was worth?
It was worth
$16.50, right? It's like, ooh, big spender Disney. Right.
And I remember going to Disneyland in 1986 or 87.
Sure.
On a free ticket that my dad's friend gave me. And we were so excited. We were living in San Diego, and my friend and I drove up and went to Disneyland on these tickets. And I mean, what could they have been? It was 1986. It could have been like $20
It was
for
probably
these tickets.
probably $20. I remember you and I going to Disneyland when we were first going out, and it was something like $20 to $22 for a ticket. It was not a horrible deal.
Yeah. But I guess you would have to look at like what the prices of movies were and what the wage was.
Right.
I mean, at the time that I went to Disneyland for in '86 or whatever, I went with my roommate, and the two of us were paying $450 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment.
The price of
So-
that ticket in today's money
Oh,
is
it's like 104.
well, no,
two.
it's $50.
Oh, I see. The 1650 is $50
Right, was
today.
worth
Yeah.
about
Could you
50
imagine
bucks
if you
then.
could get into Disney for $50?
Right?
Yeah.
They're talking about letting locals in, Anaheim people in for $69 for the 69th anniversary this year.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you happen to live there within fireworks range, I think you have to be. Although, I don't know. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Do you live close enough for that, Jeff?
For what, the 69 thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine so.
It's probably by
I
zip
don't know
code.
I don't know what the distance is.
Yeah, it's probably by zip code. At any rate, he took the ticket that he won and he stuck it in his scrapbook and he forgot about it until his daughter said that she wanted to go to Disneyland with her boyfriend, but it was super expensive. And he gave her the ticket, and Disneyland honored it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
awesome.
and he just, I mean, on one hand, it came out of his scrapbook, so he must have wanted to keep it for some reason. But I think it's much better that he give it to his daughter, who hadn't been there
Well-
since she was 6 or something. Is that what she said?
Right. And she's 18 now.
Yeah. So, what's your zip code, Jeff?
did they just did they stamp it and give it back or something, or did they keep it?
I would imagine they
That's what I
kept
wonder.
it.
I have checked
Yeah.
with Disney at City Hall, and they used to have a book of all the old tickets that they got, and I imagine it went into that book,
Yeah.
unless they
Okay.
just stamped void on the back of it or something.
Yeah.
What's your zip code?
9286. Okay, here we go again. 92868.
92868.
So I'm remembering the wrong one.
I don't think you qualify. So it's from 92801 to 809, 812, 814 through 817, 825, 850, and 899.
So maybe it's just for like Anaheim residents. Maybe it's just for people.
Well,
that
they're
live in
they're trying to
Anaheim.
limit it to Anaheim residents. They have very specific zip codes.
Mhm.
And I assume it doesn't. Well, if it goes from 92850 to 92899, you're covered. But
Yeah.
but it's kind of interesting. I don't think I'm trying to find like a map that shows all of the Anaheim zip codes, because like Anaheim Hills is
Yeah.
covered.
Which is weird.
92867
I think
is
I'm pretty sure I'm actually closer than Anaheim Hills.
right. Is that what you said?
So, yeah, it got me
92867?
boggled. What?
92867, is that what you said?
No.
What's your zip code again?
This makes for
9,
exciting
2.
radio.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything, guys. Bad time.
I think it's just we're having bad Zoom things and we just keep talking
Yeah.
over each other. All right. Well, I've got all the zip codes here that seem to be in the Anaheim zip code stuff. Although there's one section
Yeah.
that like doesn't have a zip code at all, which is weird.
Yeah.
So, okay, there we
There you
go.
go.
So, I don't see.
Good grief.
Yeah, I don't see your zip code in here.
And yeah, I doubt it's covered.
So, well, that's too bad, because there is a lot of stuff covered over here. So, wacky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
Alrighty.
I mean, I already have a pass anyway, so.
Oh yeah, I know.
Jeff, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, okay. So we're already at that part, huh?
Yeah.
We are.
No one died
Whoa.
this week.
Did we not have a rip section this week?
We
What the
do.
hell?
We do not. There's nobody who we have been alerted to passing away. That in the news section for celebrities and stuff. So yeah, we're just moving right along.
Yeah. Weird. Okay. Um, I'll talk about something I probably talked about before, actually. Um, the trailer dropped uh, during Comic-Con this past weekend for the actual full trailer, not the teaser, for the Hellboy the Crooked Man. And um, to me, it still doesn't look um, great, but it definitely looks better because it gives you more of a sense of how the new actor is portraying Hellboy. So I mean, I don't think they're giving enough of that sense. They're only giving like a little bit. So I know that there's going to be some amount of comedy to it in one case because in both incarnations before, and whatever else they've done, there's always a little bit of comedy because it's Hellboy, and there's like a little bit there that they throw in there that are like because it's either a little physical humor or it's something that's such. This one it seems like it, but it's not really giving you a whole lot. It's just like a small smidgen of what's probably going to be in the film. So you're like, ah. So I'm still kind of on the fence of his delivery. Um, the other part is that this is supposed to take place in the 50s.
Yeah,
And
you
there's
said it
only,
was a
like,
period
one scene.
piece.
Huh?
You said it was a period piece.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the 1950s, and it just doesn't look like it. There's like a flashbacky sequence that kind of looks like it. That's in like a hospital, but to me, the rest of it doesn't really look like 50s period. You know, like that one girl's hair was kind of that style, I guess. But I
Well,
mean, if you see in the trailer that you're showing,
yeah, and
but there's a lot of it. It's like not doesn't quite nail it for me.
it said
You
specifically
know?
that it's from the story by Mike Mignola. So, as opposed
Yes.
to,
Yeah.
created by or whatever, it sounds like they're taking this from a very specific story or comic book or whatever that he wrote, and they're putting it on
Yes.
the screen.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah, they're
that's
following it pretty closely, from what I understand. Yeah.
okay. So that's pretty different, and so people
Yeah, I'm glad for that. So yeah.
may have already read this story.
So yeah, well, Mike Mignola is a lot more involved with this than he was before. I mean, in previous things it was based on he wrote the other ones, the other productions. He actually was tagged as a writer for them, and not because of the comic, it's because he's part of that story and everything that they made for the films. So, but this one, I think he's much more hands-on than he was at those. I guess those he just got a credit, and this one he's much more connected to it. Um, so it's like the setting, for me, the setting fits okay. Although I never understand why they do stuff like, hey, look, it's the past. See how run down this place is? I'm like, yeah, because you just went somewhere and shot it instead of building something because it's the time period. I'm like, look how old it is, the time period. I'm like, yeah, because it's already it's already old because you should use an actual set that looks like it was built that time period.
Right.
That was just built instead of like it's aged a lot because yeah. But I don't know it. We'll see. I'll check it out whenever the darn thing comes out and wherever it's coming out for that matter. Um, and I'm just hopeful that there's more to it, that we're seeing.
right. Sean?
Turning movies into stage shows is certainly no big surprise to anything, and doing it as a musical is also like no big surprise. And in fact, trying to look this up, which is Lord of the Rings: A Musical Tale, not to be confused with Fellowship, which is a musical tale they did before. I'm getting an ad for Stranger Sings, which is Stranger Things done as a musical. So I mean, it's obviously a pretty huge deal.
Yeah.
And the casting.
I guess it was like a fan made.
Well, but this is a stage show you can buy tickets to and go see.
Okay.
Which is kind of, so they're putting their trailer sort of up online, and
Yeah.
I can't imagine that it's licensed by anybody, but maybe they will surprise me. Now, their casting looks pretty good. I mean, Frodo looks like Frodo, and Bilbo looks like Ian Holm.
Yeah.
And of course, having seen Fellowship, the comedy version of this, I don't know how serious this is supposed to be, because honestly, it looks very serious. It looks like
it does.
they're not goofing off. So
I mean, the Gollum looks kind of silly, but
well, Gollum's always
it's like
gonna
a different take,
Right. That's always going to be the case.
I mean, yeah, because you see how they're all dressed. You're okay. I see the costumes look pretty similar to what they had in the films, and that kind of works. And then it's the orcs are jumping around in hoodies.
Right. Well,
it's like, oh dear, what happened?
That's them. So this is in Chicago. It says, based upon the books by J.R.R. Tolkien, produced under license from Middle-earth Enterprises, LLC. So they did apparently license it. We'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, July 19th to September 1st. It's coming, and it's going for a couple of months.
Well, July 19th, it's already here.
Oh, you're right. That is going
yeah.
on.
And
Sorry,
it's
I'm
be
I'm
about
still
a month and a half.
I'm still kind of off because of us being away.
Hey to Lori and hey to Amy, who are joining us over on Facebook.
Hello.
And
Yay!
I would like to talk about a sad closing. In the Bay Area, there is a factory called the Annabelle Candy Factory. And it makes Uno bars, Big Hunk, Rocky Road, Abba Zaba, and Look. It is closing permanently on September 27th. And there's no word as to whether the parent company, Promise Confections, will be moving the candy bars over to another one of their factories. They're laying off 43 employees on September 27th.
Wow. Some of those are still pretty popular brands, and you still see them all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, Abba Zaba and Rocky Road are, well, I don't know if Rocky Road's popular at all.
The decision to
Big
shutter
Hunk.
Annabelle Candy Factory resulted from the business's lack of financial sustainability.
Oh dear.
That's apparently what it says. But they did not elaborate on that. Weird. But I guess it goes back to 1917, the founder.
Yeah, it's a 74-year-old company. Well, wait a minute. The founder, wait, what?
The founder emigrated to Russia in 1917 and started selling candies off of Market Street. And then eventually they opened a factory in San Francisco in 1952.
Okay.
And Annabelle Candy Factory is named after his daughter, Annabelle.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
Wow, man.
Interesting.
Rocky Road was one of my dad's favorite candy bars.
Yeah, I like it's a weird candy bar.
I'm not a
It's
fan.
it's like a it's kind of like a almost like a turtle kind of thing where it's just like a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
glommed together.
Marshmallows,
with-
toasted cashews, and milk chocolate.
Right, and but
Yeah.
it's like a big cluster bar of stuff. So
Yeah.
I like them.
And I'm not really a fan of Abba Zaba either. So I won't be personally affected by this. I just feel like it's sad when candy bars go away.
Yeah.
I'm
I
almost.
think
Go ahead, Jeff.
well, I was like, I think Abba Zaba was the one that was like a taffy with like peanut butter in it, right?
It is.
It
yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good one. I just never got it. I hardly ever got it. So
I am almost afraid to eat one as I get
Oh,
older.
you'll rip your teeth out.
I know, and one of the things I didn't talk
Yeah.
about me doing in the past week is I was flossing my teeth, like after the show. Like we did the show, and then I went and
Yeah.
flossed my teeth, and I hacked a big
Oh.
piece of my tooth out, and I had to go to the dentist
Yeah.
and have him fill it.
oh, good grief.
It was annoying. It's annoying because it was a tooth I've been trying to get my dentist to look at for 2 years. Oh, it's fine. No, it's not fine. You should look at
Good
it.
grief.
Uh, yeah, so that was the big excitement of my week. Yeah, I did a charity thing and whatever. No, I took a
I
piece
tried,
of my
Eric. I tried.
tooth out. Right. Yeah, sorry. Jeff doesn't buy enough candy. That's it. Hey,
Only one man.
it never works that way. Remember when they canceled Necco wafers? And like I buy Necco wafers. I always have Necco
Yeah.
wafers. I have an emergency roll of Necco wafers, like
Yeah.
right here. And this
Yeah.
is the original edition of Necco wafers because they finally came back.
I want candy.
But
So
I almost got us Abba Zaba and stuff because of this story. I almost went
my
and got some.
I think my family is probably the ones that are keeping the one arm of this pharmaceutical company that picked up the gum in business, which is Beeman's. Because
Oh,
every so
Beeman's.
often I get a big old pile of Beeman's gum
Nice.
because they know I like it.
I have some in the other room. In our candy
Yeah.
tin. I got a pack of Beemans.
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you want to talk about?
Yes. I will talk about the great big deal that happened during Comic-Con that all the Marvel fans are either freaking out about or happy about, one of the two. And that is, and Sean already knows, is that they announced that they are that they had a new title for the next Avengers film because it is not going to be called. It's not going to be about Kang anymore. They have a new villain, and it is Avengers Doomsday, and it's Victor Von Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that they introduced him with this. With an actor who comes out in the suit and pulls the mask off, and they lead up to it saying, who we're going to get to play Victor Von Doom in our new movie, and he's a great actor, blah blah. And of course, comes out and pops it off, and it's Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
So the thing about that I found about it was that I've looked into it, because people are like, "Oh my God, that's stupid! Why do that?" I'm like, "Well, there's two separate sides to this in comics that it could be based on. One side is that Tony Stark was Doctor Doom in some comics way back when, and Doctor Doom became Iron Man for a while too. But the only time that Doctor Doom was Victor Von Doom was Tony Stark, so to speak. Like he was the body of Tony Stark was in an issue of a What If comic, and that's when it's like it's an alternate Earth, obviously, kind of idea. And in this thing, instead of Victor Von Doom being in college with Reed Richards, he's in college with Tony Stark, and he decides at some point to switch bodies. There's like somehow, so to speak, whatever computery big mechanical doohickey, and so they switched bodies, and Tony doesn't really know this, but so in any case, so Victor Von Doom now has the face of Tony Stark, and he eventually, of course, he becomes himself Doctor Doom. So that's probably because it's an alternate world kind of thing, and they're doing the multiverse and all this kind of other yibby yabby. That's probably where they're going to go with it when they do it, you know. So, and I think the other reason is that they're like, boy, people aren't watching our movies. What should we do?
Yeah,
Let's bring back Robert Downey Jr.
it is a little bit of a cop out, but I have to say, having been at Disney's Company D employee store, where all of their merchandise goes to die, basically, they put it all on discount over there, and amongst the ornaments for Life Day and all that kind of stuff that they're getting rid of, so much merchandise for Kang the Conqueror. And like the pivot that they had to do after everything went down with that actor. So on one hand, I kind of get what they're doing. On the other hand, it's also feels like a big cop out. They took the route of least resistance. So I don't know. It'll either be great or it won't. At least Fantastic Four does not have Doom in it for this outing.
As far as I know,
it seems like it's Galactus. Which is fine.
Yeah. Galactus is a bad guy.
Something a little different. So
it felt like they were like
and Silver Surfer
panicking, like he was a panic cast.
Yes.
But I'm willing to maybe watch it and find out. My enthusiasm for MCU is just like everyone else's, I guess. It's kind of gone.
Well, they're calling it superhero fatigue.
Oh man!
And that we're tired of superhero stuff.
I'm really looking forward. Actually, I mean, because I want to see what they do with Fantastic Four, and I like the idea that it's it's like again, it's an alternate Earth, and it takes place in the '60s. So that's going to be kind of fun,
right?
For Fantastic Four.
I just watched a commercial for old Fantastic Four toys. And they didn't know what to do with Reed Richards, so they also made him invisible. Yeah. Which was hysterical. It's like he doesn't stretch; he also turns invisible along with Sue.
Yeah. Exactly. The other Avengers movie title they released was Avengers: Secret Wars. That'll come out I think it's 2 years after Doomsday. And then, of course, they also talked about, not talked about, but showed it, I guess, was they're still doing Blade and other such. So,
right.
And they, that's,
The Laura.
Lots of Marvel news.
Laura was saying over on the chat that from an Iron Man to an Iron Mask, I think when they came out, and they had 20 different guys come out in hoods and robes with a Doom mask. And then they parted, and then RDJ came out and took his mask off. And I think his phrase was new mask, new task. I think that's what he said.
Yeah. New mask, same task, or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And the idea is the other guys are supposed to be Doom bots. Basically, is what the other guys are supposed to be.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. I don't know. I'll see it eventually, whether I see it in theaters or not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it was something that was going to happen eventually anyway, but, I guess they had to kind of jump the gun because of the whole Kang thing.
I see some people getting a little bent out of shape because they feel that it's whitewashing of the character, I guess, because, Victor Von Doom was like Romani, I guess. And so
he was part Romani.
But
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I mean, at least it's not Christoph Waltz or somebody in there. It's somebody also.
It's not really, but it's not because they may still show when they have Victor Von Doom show up. They may show if they do this whole story the What If thing, they may still have Victor's body inhabited by Tony Stark, so to speak.
Right.
And he could be Romani. So.
Well, and some people are taking it as a sign that Hollywood isn't making new movie stars, which I think is a little bit of a stretch, just because they cast Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. in another thing. There are plenty of people in movies coming out that I have no idea who they are, and so I think they qualify as new
Yeah.
new things. And some of the people who are established celebrities, I don't need to see, like Jared Leto. I don't need to see him in the Neutron movie. I'm like,
I know. Damn it. Damn
what?
it.
Like, come on. Oh my gosh, it'll be interesting. We'll see how it shakes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So news from Comic-Con is that Jennifer Garner got stuck in an elevator for an hour at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
For more than an hour. She
Yeah.
documented it on social media and said, "Hey guys, we're stuck on this elevator. I need I could use a Wolverine, I could use a Deadpool, I could use someone. We are 11 minutes into our elevator set," said Garner. "It's toasty. I think I heard on an episode of The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something that you're supposed to sit. So we're sitting. We're about an hour. We're beeping now. In 45 minutes in, she was singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall." It doesn't say who else was in there. It just says Jennifer Garner and her team.
Yeah.
So they don't even say how many people.
Right.
Oh.
And
Okay.
can I
Yeah,
just?
she had a panel to get to. Important
Yeah?
panel.
I imagine. I don't think she goes to Comic-Con to just hang out. But can I just point out that she did not call for Daredevil, and she herself
No.
is Elektra. Come on, what?
She could have gotten herself out.
Right? I mean, you know.
Who is she calling for?
She's calling
Get her,
for
who is she calling to get out?
Wolverine and Deadpool.
Right. Which are the celebrities du jour,
Yeah.
for sure.
Huh.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Sean?
Also from San Diego Comic-Con, this was a little bit of a shocking story.
Icky.
San Diego Comic-Con
Gosh, I know.
is
Damn.
pretty much the flagship comic convention in the United States. They frequently have upwards of 150,000 people at the convention, both people who are working there, people who are not. It's hard to keep track of everybody who comes in and out of there. I have had problems where, like, one of the security guards stole my cell phone from a place that he was not supposed to be, touching stuff he wasn't supposed to touch. And then the people down at security were like, "Yeah, we hired him, but we don't know who he is," which was a real problem.
Oh, goody. Yeah.
In this case, the San Diego Police Department worked together with the San Diego Human Trafficking Task Force, and they went to the convention and targeted a whole bunch of people, and they made 14 arrests for people who were part of a human trafficking operation where they had
Holy moly.
basically sex
Excuse me.
workers that they were brokering out. Really kind of crazy stuff. We have had, every convention has its weirdos. Colleen has been propositioned to be in a porn movie once at a
Yeah,
convention,
that was fun.
which
fun.
was very amusing, and was creeped on by furries. There's always stuff like that, but this is like serious, legitimate crime stuff where San Diego, of course, is very close to the Mexican border. They have border patrol and other things like that. They're always looking into vehicles to make sure people aren't being trafficked across the border sexually or otherwise. And so I'm kind of impressed. I think it was 14 traffickers and 10 victims, including a 16-year-old girl. So those people have been remanded to the state for support services so that they're taken care of. And then they arrested these other 14 people. And on one hand, super icky. On the other hand, I'm really glad they're on it.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
you always hear horror stories about things that go wrong with people there. People go missing. All sorts of craziness happen. And in when you get 150,000
Insane.
people, it's
Totally
hard
insane.
to keep track of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really nuts. And Amy, who just posted over on the thing, she was just there with Brayton. They went down there after doing costume college with us, and it is scary. It's a really scary thing. And there are so many kids who go down there, and for me at my age, a kid is anybody like 24 and under, and they run around in costume, and they're like super sexy anime characters and all of that kind of thing, and uh, they can potentially be targets for this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's really really spooky. So hopefully, they keep this kind of thing up. And honestly, I don't know how they may have been doing this for years, but I've never heard of them doing it.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it's new or not.
I don't know.
But the
Excuse me.
I don't
Yeah.
know how many of the people they arrested are people who were doing the actual trafficking or were basically hiring people. So I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know if it was like the sort of John list thing going, hey, we heard you were looking for sex. Here are your handcuffs.
Oh, geez,
So
Louise.
yeah, more information as it develops. But a big thumbs up to SDPD
Yeah.
and to this task force for being on it. Did you know there was a San Diego human trafficking task force? I didn't.
Good
Uh,
gravy.
Now we do. But it
Well,
just
good thing there was one then.
right.
There is one. I
It's
mean,
just scary because there used to be a group that was called Backup, which was people who would wander around the convention to try to extricate people out of situations where people were creeping
yeah.
on them or guys wouldn't let people go, and you saw any kind of problem, you would sort of make yourself available for that. And
Yeah.
they haven't been doing it in a while. I heard that they were going to restart that, and it's really a necessary thing. I think it's really important to have people be very, very aware of their surroundings and what's going on, and when people might uh, usually inadvertently get themselves into a situation that is potentially dangerous, or at the very least makes them very
Mm.
uncomfortable and unhappy. So interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Exactly. I guess I will talk about another trailer. The one I'm going to talk about is season 2 of Lord of the Rings of Power, and it looks good. I like the first season a lot, so this one, um, it looks fun, or not fun, but like really exciting and everything, and apparently this season you're going to see more of what's more. You're going to see Sauron more, um, in one of his in like an elf form. You see in the trailer, and then um, I think there's also a creature form he's going to be in too. That's what I heard. But it looks good. It looks really good. And of course, the very first appearance of Tom Bombadil, huh? He's in the
Nice.
trailer.
Woo!
Yeah, so we get to find out, and apparently, according to the guys who run um, the showrunners, I think they have like two new showrunners for this season. Um, is that the stranger or whatever the wizard that was in the first season? They'll finally give him he'll have a name at the end of this new season coming. So I don't know if that means you'll know who he is, because sometimes they give characters like Sauron when he was like pretending to be somebody else. He had a different name, obviously, and you're like, who the hell is that guy? So hopefully they'll give him an actual name that you'll know. I'm hoping it's going to be one of the Blue Wizards actually, and not Gandalf. But who knows what they're going to do. Um, but yeah,
Well,
it,
cool.
it looks really fun and exciting.
We
Like
haven't
8 episodes.
we haven't watched any of it. And the only thing I heard
Okay.
about it was that they sort of cheaped out on the costumes in comparison to the movie, and you could tell.
Well, I mean, I guess in the first season, I think some of the armor didn't look all that. Some armor and some
I
shots didn't
heard
look
I
too
heard
good,
the
but
wigs were particularly bad.
this season it looks, yeah, this season looks really good. So I don't know,
Cool.
at least from the trailer. I don't know.
So we've been talking, chatting about, I think recently, about how Japanese food is going to start coming to 7-Elevens in the US. I don't remember whether we've talked about this on the show,
We mentioned it briefly. Yeah.
but apparently the egg salad sando is starting to show up in 7-Eleven locations in Orange County. There's definitely been a sighting in a Garden Grove 7-Eleven, which makes sense because there is a Japanese community. There's an Asian community there. I don't know if it's Japanese, but one of the interesting things is that the sandwich is $5.99, and although it's served on milk bread, it's not. It doesn't have the crust cut off the way they do in Japan. What's really interesting
Okay.
is that based on current exchange rates, that same sandwich in Japan is $1.55,
Right.
and it's $5.99 here. So that's a bummer that the prices are going to be so much higher here. Kind of makes sense. And the 7-Eleven has said that they are going to be having sorry, I had this previously. I don't know, there was a list of what some of the things are going to be, and I can't find it now. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sliders, ham, egg, and cheese French toast, and chicken salad sandwiches. So
huh.
hopefully they'll be bringing oh, and also chicken teriyaki rice balls, miso ramen, and sweet chili crisp wings. So
Oh,
there are a
wow.
lot of other things that I would like to see, like the strawberry sandwiches from the Japanese 7-Elevens, and all of the really fun flavors of chips that they have in Japan that we don't
Right.
get so much here.
We have to go to
Oh, okay.
Daiso to try to find those.
Yeah. But it would be worth stopping by your local nicer 7-Eleven if you live near a big city, and I would assume that it's going to start here on the West Coast, so I'm not sure if you live in small town USA, you're going to see this stuff very soon.
Well,
Dang.
and you were mentioning to me, Colleen, that the disparity between Japan and the United States and the number of 7-Elevens there was
Yes.
ridiculously high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was, if I recall, like if you think about how big Japan is, and you think about how big the US and Canada are put together, the US and Canada put together have like 5,000 fewer 7-Elevens.
yeah, something like that. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And just because I'm getting
The heck?
people are commenting on the strawberry sandwich, it is Japanese milk bread with a kind of, I think it's whipped cream cheese mixture, but
Yeah.
heavy on the whipped cream, with strawberries, and then they cut it in
Okay.
half so that it kind of looks like a flower when they put the two halves together next to each other.
It's really more like
And
a
it's-
dessert thing.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
dessert thing.
So it's not quite cake, but
Nice.
it is
It's close
cake.
enough.
Yeah.
It's yummy.
Right.
Sean?
Yeah. So actor George Lazenby is retiring. If you don't remember George Lazenby, he's the guy who took over for Sean Connery as James Bond for one outing. It's the outing in which James Bond got married to Diana Rigg, if you can believe
Yeah.
it, on Her Majesty's Secret Service. 1969, it was George Lazenby's first credit, and his only outing as Bond. But he went on to do a bunch of other things. He was a model that looked the part really well, but people weren't entirely sure that he had the acting chops to do it. He went on to do all sorts of other things, though. Bunch of British shows. He was in the Kentucky Fried Movie, Hawaii Five-O, BJ and the Bear, General Hospital, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Freddy's Nightmares, even. And he's been working off and on fairly steadily. And in fact, he's got two projects that he's playing the President of the United States in that haven't come out yet. But he has just announced that he's actually gonna retire. He's the guy who had the shortest career as James Bond. And there's a documentary that came out in 2017 about it. And
Okay.
but he says that his career has been a fun ride, but getting older is no fun. He says, this hasn't been an easy decision, but it's time to announce my retirement from work. Therefore, I won't be doing any more acting or making public appearances, doing any more interviews, or signing any more autographs as of today. And that was July 25th.
I see.
No, I've never heard of a celebrity saying, "I'm retiring, therefore I won't be
I
signing
won't
autographs."
be signing, right?
Yeah, I mean it makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, and you wonder if there aren't any kind of like, health issues there or things like that. Like even Alec Guinness, you could send him a card and a picture and a self-addressed stamped, and you better send him a self-addressed stamped envelope. And, the politest letter you could possibly write. And then he would sign something and send it back. And if you didn't write a good letter, if you didn't include an envelope, he'd throw it out. If you didn't include a letter that was well written, he would correct your grammar and send it back.
Okay, I would.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure if I could write something that specifically had bad grammar, but that might be worth it.
Right. And it's like, do you want to piss him off just to get that letter?
I don't
Because,
know.
I mean, it's kind of epic.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah. All right. We've got 3 minutes to the top of the hour.
Just one last thing I think that we need to cover that I had teased that we did not talk about. Video game company Bungie is laying off 220 employees. That's 17% of its workforce. They've been doing various rounds of layoffs off and on. They've been closing various studios. They are owned by Sony. They did the Destiny 2 game and a bunch of other things. Marathon was one of their games. So
Excuse me.
they're saying that they've been having budget issues and whatnot. And they're
Dang it
pushing
all.
release dates back. Expansions are coming out late. But it's also affecting Insomniac, Naughty Dog, Guerrilla, a bunch of other game companies that are connected to
Gotcha.
Sony. So that's too bad. We work in this industry, and it is on like the cusp of a video game strike
Excuse me.
from the actors that's starting like right now. They
It
just had
started last Friday.
They just had their first picket last Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, the strike went into effect midnight between Thursday and Friday.
Yep. It's
So
messy.
which ones again? I'm sorry.
The video game strike for SAG.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is separate from the Bungie thing that I was just talking about.
Wow.
These are the actors who basically they haven't had a suitable resolution to the whole AI thing. And actors want to make sure that their
Gotcha.
likenesses and voices don't get kidnapped by the people they do projects for, which I think is fair. So we'll have to see how that goes. You have been listening to Docking Bay 94 over here
Excuse
on
me.
sci-fi.radio. You can tune in there 24/7. We've always got music and cool stuff going on. My morning show from 9 to 11 Pacific time is there every single day, called Good Morning Tatooine, and you can tune in the morning and hang out with me. We chat on Discord on the DJ thing. All that information is at sci-fi.radio, our major website over there. You could have been watching us on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitch. There's a way to like or subscribe or do anything like that. Please do. We always appreciate knowing that you're there, and that's how we know that you're not that you are there if you're not chatting with us over on the chat. Big thanks to Kit for doing all of our links and things and keeping our show document in a nice, tidy
Yay.
order so that we got stuff to talk about, and for posting all of these links over here in our chat. And beyond that, we should see you next Thursday.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
This is Jeff Soledano.
I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always, may the force
May the
be with
force
you.
be with you.
I'm going to give you guys some credits over here on our video side of things. See you guys later on the video.